Actually, no. Let's go to the wise guy of the group. Let's go to the wise guy of the group for the intro today. Says Scott.
How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV.
You think I didn't see that?
I'm not part of this.
Dead man walking, says
No,
dead man
I'm
walking.
sorry, bro. I love it so much. I was going to mime it when you said it. You couldn't restrict me.
I'll give you that. It was funny. It was funny. When I listened to it, I even thought to myself, right, was I there?
I saw the comment section, someone go, I thought Turkish opened the show.
Yeah, a lot of the comments said that.
Yeah, man, listen, it's iconic Turkish. It's iconic.
It is what it
intro,
is, man. I'm
honestly.
joking about, man. Come on, G.
Honestly.
Come on, G. Let's get the real version in now. How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV. It's the warm-up, cup final time. I've said that a few times over the last couple of months, but it is a cup final, the Europa League semi-final against Villarreal.
Your mind's in the European Super League,
It
isn't
still
it?
is, mate. I still can't believe that's what they tried to do. I still can't believe it. We're struggling to get past Benficas and Olympiacos, and these that are trying to get us in with the Reals and Bayerns. It's all mad.
It's embarrassing. Talking about that, imagine, look, did you watch City? Did you see City the other night? Imagine us and
So
like with
good.
PSG, Cities, well, we'll get slapped every week.
No, I do. Do you know, I watched this last couple of years, I've been watching Champions League football, and I don't remember having this sensation before, but I was watching, I'm going, oh wow, they're good.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe it's because I'm used to watching Arsenal be so inconsistent, and even when they're at their best, they're not at that level. But I was watching City, I watched even Bayern Munich, who got knocked out by PSG, and I'm like, these guys are another level.
Yeah.
They look faster, stronger, they're better on the ball, they don't lose it. Like, no one loses possession.
Yeah.
It's
It's because we've got used to Europa League.
Yeah.
Like our interest is in that now because our club is in this competition.
Yeah.
And when you actually compare the two, even group stages of Champions League, I'd watch it on a Wednesday and you'd see that the levels are completely different.
Yeah.
All we can do is hope and pray that we deserve to get back into it.
Well, if we win this competition.
Well, I said deserve, yeah? I said deserve. So if we get back in through this competition, I'm not sure we deserve it, but we'd be in it. Would be in it.
Maybe something, eh?
So let's talk about Villarreal.
Yeah.
How did their last fixture go in the league? 1-0 win?
Listen, man, this Emery guy. Okay, I know I look a fool if he knocks us out, but I'm just gonna say it with my chest, like this guy, I don't get him. They won 1-0 against Getafe at home. They had 4 shots. They conceded 15. I know shots isn't everything. They had more of the ball. I get all that, but I'm like, that is not sustainable. And as we saw here at the Emirates, when he was our manager, some of the home games we had, it wasn't sustainable. Eventually lost his job. This isn't about Arteta and whether Arteta's doing a better job himself. But you look at that first leg, they were 2-0 up. They were completely in control. We did nothing. And they brought off a striker and brought on Coquelin. And that's what he does. You give him an inch, he takes a mile.
Yeah.
Like he's the kind of guy who's like, right, we're in front, let's preserve this. Or let's look after what we got rather than going, we should have been finished off. With some of the chances they had, they could have created more if they'd gone for the throat, really. And so we've got a chance because Emery didn't finish it off.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
If that's the type of manager Emery is, what's the type of manager Arteta is?
Yeah, it's a good point.
I'm not saying they're similar, but as you went in about Emery, I agree with you. It's just made me think about Arteta, and we can talk about Emery as much as we like, but is our own manager fitting the bill at the moment?
No, 100% he's not. I don't. Well, I mean, you've been swaying.
I've been swayed quite a lot, but no, I'm on the Arteta outside now. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, he said it.
I know. I never thought. Yeah, you have to. Look at the recent
Win or lose.
performances. Yeah, win or lose. Even if we win the Europa League, I'm still on. He's not the right man for the job. If I'm anything, I think it's too big for him. And for me to say that I backed him for a long time is quite surprising. I've always said I don't like this cancel culture of managers, but again, I can't ride that wave until we're freaking in a relegation battle next season, say, or we get dropped out of cup competitions. I'm at this point now.
And I think you're fair to say that because you've given enough chances. Online, a lot of people call AFTV Arteta Fan TV because the amount of support he's got from people on the channel. But we just got to be real, another season down. We've got some substance to work off. We've got some matches, some form, something to look at and judge him.
Yeah,
Sorry, go on.
so I was just going to say, like, even my mind kind of goes to as well, if there is a new takeover, say if Daniel Ek comes in, we bring in Pierre-Emerick, Bergkamp and Vieira as the advisors or per se, I don't think they would keep Arteta as well. I know that sounds harsh, but I really don't believe they will.
I don't think he'd have survived under a more ruthless ownership.
No.
Yeah.
But I get you asked me the question, the difference between Arteta and Emery essentially. Listen, you can't compare the two because Emery's got a wonderful CV.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real, the guy's a good coach. Just because I don't like his approach, like what I'm criticising his approach, not his results. The guy won 3 Europa Leagues in a row. He's clearly got something about him.
Definitely.
And people aren't going to like what I'm going to say. I'll probably get a lot of heat for this, but when I look at the patterns in games that we sometimes won under Emery, often drew, rarely lost, but most of the time drew, you knew it wasn't sustainable. You looked at it and you went, this is going to crumble at some point, and it did. With Arteta, the football's not great, don't get me wrong, it's not electric, and it's going to bore people, and you're just looking at stats, look at it with your eyes, but you look at it and there seems to be something more sustainable. There's a reason the players haven't down tools on Arteta, because actually, when you take away the emotion out of it, more often than not, we do have more shots in games. We do have more of the ball. We are the slight more aggressors over the opposition. Is that good enough? Absolutely not by Arsenal standards. But my point is, there's something there that you think, actually, if you had a couple quality players, maybe those 14 shots, instead of yielding 1 or 2 goals, yields 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And it's things like that you go, maybe if you give them a little bit more, it'll come together. Maybe it suits the players we've got having Arteta more than Emery. The point is, one didn't work and one isn't working right now. But the Europa League could save them.
So is that what you're saying? If we win it, in. If we go out,
I'm actually still in.
Regardless.
Until no, I've got to see how this semi-final goes.
Yeah,
No, but as I stand, whereas other people are like, you need to win to win the Europa League to bring me back. I'm more like, no, I'm still hanging around. I'll then have a little look after. But yeah.
It's on the Europa League for me, and I'm kind of with you on it. You know, I think a new owner brings in a new manager, a new owner brings in a new head of football, technical director, all of that. So that's why I'm sticking on the owner. Because even if I've got a problem with Arteta, which I do, even if I've got a problem with Edu, which I do, Vinay, which I do, the main problem is the owner. And if we change the owner with some of the names involved in this takeover as ambassadors on Riviera Bergkamp, I'm sure they wouldn't be happy with the person who's in charge now. You know, I think the experience, you know, goes a long way.
I agree with that. But I guess it comes back to what are the 3 things that make Arsenal perform on the pitch? Well, the manager, the players, and the owner. And I will keep saying it that the manager, while he is quite far from what we want to be seeing, still is bottom of my list of priorities to address. Really, owner's the top. And I've got to say, like, whether these players have something about them or not, I've seen enough disappointment to go, I want a refresh. And you know, Spurs had players that reached the Champions League final and it went wrong for Poch. And I'm not comparing Poch to Arteta. Poch is an elite manager in my opinion. But they decided not to back the manager, and they decided to not refresh the group. So they brought in Mourinho and it didn't work, and now he's gone. Like, just hiring and firing isn't always the answer. Sometimes you've got to look more internally.
It's a balance. It's like we're juggling, and I think over the decade we've been juggling managers and players, blaming managers and players, literally 2 balls juggling. And finally, Kroenke's in that hat, so it's 3 balls we're juggling. But like you said, I think the main one, the priority is the owner, and the least of priority is Arteta. But when I say that, I'm worried because
that doesn't mean you neglect it, right?
Yeah, I don't think Kroenke will leave this summer. I think he will try. And I'm worried that Arteta and Edu are the people in charge of the trying that's around the corner.
Okay.
So as much as it's bottom of the priority list, come end of summer, we might be turning back to Arteta and saying, what have you done with the money Kroenke did give you this summer? And I don't want the attention to divert, because it can divert so easily. But let's get back into this game. Cup final, Unai Emery, Villarreal coming off a 1-0 win.
Let's go to, I looked at some danger men. Obviously, we had Monroe last week.
Yeah, Monroe. We didn't see him in the first leg, did we?
Yeah, he was anonymous, man.
He was. Chuck So Wavy was about, though. He was there. But my danger man for today now, it's going to become the warm-up Arteta edition, is Arteta. He's the danger man today. Yep.
So we're gonna,
yep.
I get it.
I'll do some strengths. Some strengths. He's got the FA Cup, got the Community Shield, nice jet black hair, wears nice Armani jackets.
Talks well.
Yep, talks well, can persuade players to sign, big players. Strengths, weaknesses.
Hold on, blooded in some youngsters. Let's give him that.
All right, blooded in some youngsters.
Any more of decent signings? Gabriel, Partey, Mary.
Got them across, got them over the line.
Let's emphasise it.
Yeah, cool. Weaknesses, over-rotates sometimes, doesn't decide to use a striker in some games where most of us would agree we needed a striker. the over-rotation is a big one for me in games like the FA Cup. I didn't think we needed to do that. So that's a weakness of his.
Late subs, I'd give him that.
Late subs.
That's a bit. Do you know that's the most infuriating?
That two subs in the 94th minute last
How
week.
long does it take to realise that something needs a change?
And what can change with a minute to go in injury time?
Yeah.
That was just confusing.
Yeah.
He is. I think you're right. I think he is the biggest danger to Arsenal
Yes.
and the players and their mistakes. But it is what Arsenal can do. And listen, I want to keep reiterating this. I'm not sitting here going,
Oh yeah, we're not
Arteta's a great manager.
Yeah.
We're not slating.
No, we're not slating him
nor
either
am I
too
sitting here
much.
saying that he's the answer. And he's a great manager. And he deserves all the backing. But you can have a list of problems and it just be the last one to deal with.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And we get that.
Exactly. And the question obviously I asked you guys last week when I said, when we did our 11s, I said, we know Arteta probably won't pick this. This is what we worry about. It's another weakness of his. It's like, we don't know what we're going to get. I don't think he knows his strongest 11.
So are we saying that off the back of the danger man being identified as our own manager, are we saying that we should win, but if we don't, it will come down to a decision Arteta's made?
Yes and no, because depending on mistakes have
Because Arteta can
riddled
pick,
this team.
he can pick the strongest 11 we all want,
Yeah.
but one of those players can go and do something in that game and cost us a goal, and that's not on him, is it?
No.
So it's
You know the Everton game.
yeah.
We didn't win because of Arteta, but we also the reason we lost isn't because of Arteta.
yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, really, it should have been a draw. We didn't deserve to win it because the 11 was wrong. The approach to the game was wrong, but we didn't do enough to lose that game.
Do you know what frustrates
Absolutely
me? You
not.
talked about fine margins in the first half of the year when we was on that terrible run, November, December.
Yeah.
And when you talk about fine margins, you expect the fine margins to turn because you're working on, eliminating those risks. But he's still talking about fine margins up until April 2021, moving into May.
Exactly. In his press conference today, he was speaking about it was the red card why we lost.
But you got the
last
quotes,
week.
yeah.
We got the quotes. We're going to go into it, but I want to quickly touch on what he said today as well. Just off some things I haven't added in the graphics that are going to pop up. He said about the red card in the second half led to the performance and us not winning. That was one thing which I disagree
He
with.
said the same thing against
We were better with
Burnley.
10 men.
He said the same thing against Burnley. No, was it Burnley? He said the same thing against Leeds when it was 0-0. Pepe gets sent off.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
At the end, we didn't do enough up until Pepe getting sent off anyway.
Yep.
So why don't you talk about that? He did similar with today's quotes.
Agreed. Yeah, and he was speaking about the early goal threw off their game plan with the no striker.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, if the game plan is that,
Fragile.
that fragile, the perfect word.
Oh no, they scored.
10 minutes in.
What do we do now?
And
Well,
if-
it's
and
done
if-
now.
And if it is that fragile, then bring the striker on in the 5th minute.
Oh no,
If the
you're right.
game
Right,
plan,
actually, it's a very good point. Yeah.
You can't then turn around after the game and say, well, conceding the first 5 minutes hampered the game plan. Change the game plan.
Yeah.
You might understand that when you say it after the game, you at least changed it. You're telling us the game plan was affected. Did you change it, mate?
No, he didn't.
You didn't.
This team has played its best football under Arteta when he and the side have kept it simple and balanced. And I've seen things that genuinely encourage me, that I think, you know what, give him some proper quality players around this system and actually, like, we've got something there. The problem is, he tinkers with it, partly down to injuries, but in big part because, why start Martinelli up front when we can play a false 9? It's like, what?
it doesn't
I'm
make
not
sense.
with you
And
here.
just another quick question, because it just came to mind now. When we say Arteta needs better players, or we see something in him that if he had better players, he would do better, are we talking about better players to an extent of Man City, Liverpool, or are we talking about better players to an extent of Everton, maybe Tottenham?
Do you know my biggest fear? That I think we're talking City, Liverpool.
And
that's my biggest worry.
And that's why I asked, because Pep deserves to have the biggest names and the best names in that, because he's built up his reputation. Klopp deserves it now. Like, for us to say Arteta needs the better players, he doesn't deserve.
It's a great point.
Where
it's
are
a
we
great
getting
point.
that from though? Because he hasn't had the experience to say that when he has better players. Because this is his first. This is his.
It's hopeful.
It's hopeful.
It's hopeful.
Yeah.
It's optimistic.
It's, some managers you look at and they can get a lot out of what they've got.
Yeah.
They are just masters at going, I've got this and I'm going to raise it to this level.
Yeah.
I think if you look at Arteta, sometimes I think he's trying to do things with the team that you just know can't really do it. And I always think, if they were just that bit quicker, that bit smarter, that bit better on the ball, maybe that would come off. Maybe I'm being hopeful, but I don't think I am. I like to think I'm being quite clear about it, but
Yeah.
you know,
I understand. Listen, when you love something, you want to believe, you want to hope for the best.
Yeah.
Amen.
You want to think there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Amen.
But there's good enough players to beat Villarreal. Anyway,
Right,
what did he say?
let's go into the press. Let's go into
Exactly.
what was said in Arteta's press conference. So we come up on your screen right now. Ask you something. This is what he was asked. On how big is this game for the club in short and long term? His response was, it's a massive game for everybody, but in particular for the club, because we are here representing the football club and our fans. We want to do it in the best way by winning trophies. If we win tomorrow, we'll be much closer to getting another trophy. This is the only aim and the purpose of us being here.
You got an owner who says he's not here for trophies. You got a manager saying the only purpose we're here is trophies, while we're 10th in the league. I don't know what's going on, I'll be honest. I don't know what to make of that.
Okay,
You know?
next one coming up now. I'm just going to...
Now, let me just think about that a bit more, because
Alright, go
it's just quite frustrating, because I just don't understand it. you know?
I don't either. This one, I was quite shocked when he said, yeah, we're only here now to win trophies. I'm like, wow, I haven't seen a team perform like a trophy-winning team at
Like,
all
I need
this whole
to hear
season.
better from you. I need to hear that there's a plan to build, to improve, to develop. Not we're here to win trophies. Like, at the beginning of the season, are you telling me that League Cup would have been enough because it's a trophy? FA Cup would have been enough because it's a trophy? No. Europa League's not even enough at this moment in time.
Amen, agreed to that. He was asked, this one's for you, Turkish, he was asked on how often he speaks with the Kroenke family. He says, often enough. The rest, like Vinay, Tim and Edu, do it as well, really often. There is a really good communication line.
There ain't no communication line with us.
Yeah.
So I don't give a shit who's communicating with him there, because at the moment it just seems like they're all in bed together.
Oh, remember that sums that's
James?
Yeah, James.
Let's go into team news. Now listen, I've grown numb to the press conferences, if I'm honest.
I'm glad you can understand the perspective I'm seeing it from.
Yeah.
You know, and I can understand the perspective you see it from sometimes, in the hopeful, optimistic type, because that's the two ways to look at it. But it's about being real as well. And like you said, you're numb to it now, because once, fine, twice, fine. But how many times can you fool us?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm not an Arsenal critic.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a food critic who goes around just to like pick holes in. Like,
Yeah.
I'm an Arsenal fan. So if I see some good in things, I want to pursue that good and hope it gets better. If the manager's still here, then I want him to do well. And if he goes, cool, I'll understand why he went, and I hope the next guy does well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm first and foremost a fan. I like to think I can critique where necessary, but before a big game like this, I'm just gonna
I think we
look at it a bit more.
We are all on the definitely the fan side, but things do annoy me. Like the last week when he said these 5 players are in contention to play, and like they weren't even on. Most players weren't on the bench. Like, that annoyed me.
Yeah, annoying. Let's do that team news.
Quickly,
What?
just one more.
Is there one more
last
quote?
one.
He spoke a lot, didn't he?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Arteta in
Go on,
today's
get
show.
on with it.
Quite. On his thoughts on the idea of fans cheering the players into the ground. I've picked this one out for you lot. I think that would be great. We've been missing them so much. We need them. If the players and the team feels that they are right behind them, supporting them. Again, I think it's the 10th time this club is playing in a European semi-final. So it's a big moment for us. Hopefully we can have them closer than we have had in the last few months.
Yeah.
On that Thursday coming down here and cheering the bus in.
Of course they're going to push that. Cheering what? They're 10th in the league. They're 10th in the league. If you let me in that stadium
Why'd you
today,
read this?
there won't be no applause. For what? Is the guy mad? It's PR
Listen,
again.
I'm different. Sorry, I get what you're saying. For me, like, we'll be working, we'll have stuff to do, but people who want to go cheer him in, you know, whatever.
Are you there?
I'm not there. He's gonna kill me.
If you want to cheer them, listen, I don't know what to say. There's not much to cheer this season. That's all I'm saying. There's not much to cheer right now, is there?
No, but if the supporters can do their bit to try lift these players for a big game, then cool.
Can you imagine the supporters cheer the club? The club go win 3-0 today. The club go smash United 5-1 in the Europa League final, and Kroenke comes out the next day saying, we've achieved our ambitions and goals for this season. I'm here to stay. Well done for cheering them on the pitch in the semi-final against the Europa League. We're in a situation now where there's such a balance that this has been thrown out there because there's so much anger in the fan base, and they're trying to counter the anger with some fake positivity again, blind positivity. What the fuck is clapping these players going to do? We used to clap them every week at this stadium. They did nothing. One of them took the captain's armband off and told us to fuck off. But now clapping's going to do something. Make your minds up. First, the match-going fans are a problem. COVID stops match-going fans. We're worse off in the league than we was when we had fans. So what is the problem? Now is clapping can help? Nah, go clap yourself.
I disagree, but Each to their own.
Right, let's move on to team news then, shall we? Team news, James.
It's because I can end with a smile, though. That's what James brings it out of me, so I can get angry and just like that. It's like, cool.
I think it will help. Team news. This will definitely help. Actually, I don't think we can debate this. If Tierney, Laka and Louise are fit, that helps. Tierney and Laka were back in full training. Whether that means that they're fit to play 90 minutes on the bench, whatever, I don't know. Obviously, they were in contention for last week, and that contention.
They wasn't even on the bench.
Yeah, all for the weekend actually against Newcastle. Yeah. And David Luiz apparently is recovering quite quickly and is sort of doing all he can to be fit. Like, look, we're a better team when they're in it. It's as simple as that. When Luiz is at centre back with Gabriel, when Tierney's our left back, when Lacazette's up front, we're a better side. There's a better balance. If they're available, I think they play. Quite frankly, it sounds really bad. If they're 95% off, I think you risk it. You say, go and give us what you can. Maybe not with Laka because Aubameyang started well, but sorry, I think I don't want to like wish that on players. Be like, go on, just do what you can on one leg. But listen, I think this is one of those where sports scientists will be counting every percent when they'll be going, oh well, it's only 98% fit, not 100. Yeah. Look, can you play? Like, you know, if we put some ice on it before, you're able to go, give us what you can. I think these players are a bit too important. So if they can play, if they can give us something, I think we need it.
If you're going to risk a player, you're going to risk him for a game that means everything. This game means everything right now. Yeah. So for me, Kieran Tierney is the one I would definitely risk without a doubt. 70%, 80% he plays. Because it's
as long as there's no risk of genuinely making it worse. If they're like, oh, but if he gets this injury, it's another 2 months out, then no. But if it's like, oh, we might suffer a setback for a couple of weeks, I'm like, look, I'm not going to tell a player what they should and shouldn't do, but I just think if you can, this is the time to give it all you got.
You talking about Kieran Tierney? Let's just do the starting 11s. Let's get the lineups then. Let's go forward into that. So yeah, you start this today.
Leno in goal. I think he is one of the main reasons that we're still in the tie. So he remains in goal. Ryan had another good game against Newcastle. I like the way he comes out and commands his area, picks up crosses, but Leno deserves his spot. If Luiz is back, then Luiz and Gabriel, okay. But if he's not, then Chambers and Gabriel. That's what I've gone with, Chambers and Gabriel, because you've got mobility there. We need to take it to them. And I'd rather two centre-backs that have a bit of pace about them, a bit of mobility. So on the back foot, inevitably, when we're countered, we have a bit of pace there in both Chambers and Gabriel. I'd put Cedric right back and Kieran Tierney left back. Partey and El Nene in the middle. That'll be my pivot. Odegaard number 10. Saka on the right, Pepe on the left, and I'm putting Martinelli on top. And I know that's a bit contentious, but for me, I just think, listen, Oba's been back one game, he scored a goal, but essentially if you look at his 90-minute performance or his overall performance in that game, he didn't offer much else.
I thought he looked sharp.
He stretched them well, but in essence, he didn't get on the ball enough, he didn't cause enough problems himself. The problems he created against Newcastle was more through his running. And I expect more from Oba. And I'm not saying the pressure's on him, because I just feel like one game back from malaria. Martinelli, for me, is the character we need to overturn this type of a game. And for him to lead from the front, for me, the youthfulness, the drive, the hunger, I think it's exactly what we need. And I think it would provide a shock factor for Emery and Villarreal too. I think if you have Martinelli up top, Pepe and Saka either side, you can interchange with Pepe and Martinelli too. And then you have Oba on the bench to come off. And if it is 2-1 with 20-25 minutes to go, you know, what better player to come off the bench than your top goal scorer over the last 3-4 years? But we're going to see Oba up top, I know.
Okay. Leno, Cedric, Chambers, Gabriel, Saka. I'm again, like last week, on the assumption that no one's fit.
That would be my 4 if no one was fit,
A midfield 3 of Smith Rowe, Partey and Odegaard. Let's go for it, why not?
Front foot,
And then Martinelli, Aubameyang, Pepe, front 3.
Love that.
Listen, we need goals. Go attack, go take it to them. Go, just have a go. I want to see us, if we go out this tie, 4-3, listen, there'll be a massive inquest. But at least I felt like we tried. At least I feel like we scored goals and we tried to do something. And then we can do the inquest and everything else. But if we just sort of fall out with a 1-1 or a 0-0, I'll be so disappointed that we couldn't take the game to this team.
I think both are, because I like your lineup a lot, and I think so far both our lineups indicate that we're going into the game not for a 1-0.
No.
To take over, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
that was the team I wanted last week. If no one was in contention, was the 4-3-3. I think that's the best formation you can put out there and the strongest team that you just said. But for this game, gone as 4-2-3-1, same thing, same sort of back line. Leno in goal, Gabriel and David Luiz in centre back. Obviously, if he's fit, but they're for me the strongest pairing they have been this season. Cedric right back. I put Kieran Tierney in there. We don't know if he's going to be fit, but Kieran Tierney on the left back. For me, that's the best back line we have.
Yeah,
That's
agree.
Yeah.
In front, Partey and Xhaka. Put Xhaka back in there. Partey is self-explanatory, but Xhaka as well. And then in the 10, Odegaard, I think played really well in the last game. Aubameyang up top. Again, he's in confidence. I don't think he could last a full 90, but definitely should start for me. On the left, Martinelli. I agree with everything you said. I think we need that youthfulness, and he's the guy to make the change, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I know he's not up top, but he can press, run him down, get him behind, along with Aubameyang, and with people like Odegaard feeding him in. Perfect. On the right, I put Saka there.
So no Pepe.
I know
Difficult one.
it is, man, and for me, that is the strongest 11 we have. What I've just named, and Pepe is definitely part of it. But I think he's impactful off the bench. I know he may not like that, but his numbers don't lie in the Europa League. But for me, Saka's has to start, so he's going there.
Understandable. It is a difficult one.
Yeah.
It is a difficult one, and I like how you put Odegaard next to Partey because it just opens up the attacking options as well. I actually like that a lot, and I'm actually swaying towards his team now.
Swear, yeah, I know.
He's going to clap the players on tomorrow, so forget
and
about James.
and get the new training kit as well.
No, I'm carrying him out of that store, mate. There's no getting no new training kits. Look at this club releasing next season stuff early because they know next season.
I'll be wearing my training kit outside once the bus comes in, waving my flag.
If you see anyone in a balaclava carrying James around the Emirates, then leave us be because someone needs to take care of him.
All right, quick, before we wrap up, score predictions, let's fire them out.
Oh yeah, 2-2.
2-0 Arsenal. You think we're heading out? I think we're going through.
I'm going off what Arteta's bound to pick, so I'm thinking 2-2. Because
Yeah, it all depends on what he goes with.
if we
it
think
really
about our
does.
formations, we think about a win and going through.
Yeah,
but
going for it.
hence
So
2-2.
one of our formations, 3-1, whatever Arteta's going to pick.
Pick a score.
I don't know. 2-0, same as you.
2-0 and a 2-2. Let's hope you two are right.
Let's hope so.
We need it. Arteta needs it. The club needs it. I don't know about Kroenke, but he needs to go sell Arsenal. This has been the warm-up for Villarreal. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Predictions, lineups, all of that, people. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and we'll be back match day. Love and peace, people.